The Witch's Doll, unveiling the supernatural shadows in Chiapas Countryside. Scary story. The Witch's Doll. I live in the countryside, in a small community in Chiapas. Some may think that in such a remote place, nothing interesting happens, but they are mistaken. While most of the time, life in the countryside is peaceful without cell phones or televisions, we are more attuned to what happens in the real world, offering better stories than those in movies or novels. The following story, I can assure you, is 100% real, as everyone in the community experienced it. It's not uncommon to occasionally see foreigners passing by or asking for food, but on a particular occasion, a caravan arrived with tents and even some animals. I remember my mother telling me they were a gypsy community, and we should be careful not to go out alone while they were there. I recall the women dressing extravagantly, with long skirts and vibrant colors, speaking with a strange accent. These women offered palm readings or card readings, practices not accepted in our Catholic community. Their clothing was peculiar and colorful. I found their features to be quite beautiful, and I was fascinated by their appearance, though I could only observe them through my window. After a couple of weeks, the caravan left, leaving only one tent on the outskirts of my community. As you can imagine, we were not allowed near that tent, and even the adults hesitated to approach, not knowing if anyone was actually living there. My mother believed they simply left the tent behind for some unknown reason. As a child, anything forbidden sparks enormous curiosity. So, several times, alongside other girls, I attempted to enter the tent and see what was inside. Unfortunately, after 5 attempts, we couldn't make it, as our parents caught us halfway. But one day, during harvest time, when the adults were away, we seized the opportunity to enter the tent. Inside, the tent smelled of incense. The floor was covered with various rugs, and we saw several backless chairs. At the back, there was a curtain dividing what seemed to be the bedroom. There, we saw a cot, several sheets, and something bulging underneath, a massive rectangle. We removed the sheets and discovered a large wooden box with a glass frame containing something very interesting. It was a doll, life-sized, resembling a 12-year-old girl lying on her side. In one hand, she held a plate with a human skull, and at her feet there was a stuffed lion. The Witch's Doll. The doll looked very realistic, beautiful, with green eyes, pale skin, and dressed in a lovely bone-colored dress. We all loved the doll, so we decided to break the glass of the box and take her to play with. That's what we did. We took out the doll, left everything else, and ran to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of our community. We knew we couldn't play with the doll freely, as if they found out, they would take it away and punish us. For several happy days, we shared the doll to play with. We didn't know what material it was made of. It felt like plastic, but was soft and solid at the same time. Since we took the doll, a rumor spread in the community that a strange woman in clothes resembling those of a nun appeared at the community's boundaries. At first, we children didn't believe in these rumors, as adults enjoyed inventing such stories to keep us close to the community. Soon, we would realize that this time it wasn't just a fabrication. After a while, we forgot about the doll, leaving it buried in the abandoned warehouse. By then, the tent where we found it was already torn, and one day someone from the town set it on fire. One day, we were playing hide and seek. I hid in a thicket, very close to where the tent used to be. Suddenly, someone tapped me on the shoulder. When I turned to see who it was, I was surprised it was a woman dressed in very strange clothes, resembling a nun's habit, but with bright colors. The woman asked if I had seen her daughter. I got nervous and just said no, shaking my head. In that moment, I lost sight of her for a few seconds, and she disappeared without a trace. Suddenly, I heard one of the girls crying. We all came out of our hiding spots. We found the girl under a tree with a horrible burn on her right arm. She claimed a witch had done it. Quickly, we ran to the girl's parents, who didn't believe us. They checked our pockets for matches or a lighter, finding nothing. Still, they didn't believe us and accused us of having thrown the matches somewhere. I was punished by being grounded for a week. One night, I woke up scared as I heard a very strange sound. The room I slept in had a window facing some trees. When I looked out the window, I saw a huge bird that I still can't identify to this day. It had a horrible human-like face and emitted a distressing scream. That night, I ended up in my parents' room. They made me pray, insisting that all of this was caused by my lies. Tearfully, I repeated that we weren't playing with matches. Rumors continued circulating in the community. People claimed to have encountered a very strange woman on the road who asked if they had seen her daughter before disappearing. Another strange thing during that time was that animals behaved oddly and some stray cats disappeared mysteriously. When I was allowed to go out again, several kids sadly told me that a witch had eaten their cats. The girl whose arm got burned was left with a horrible scar. She told us that the witch had warned her that if she didn't return her daughter, she would take her instead. That's when the witch grabbed her arm, leaving the mark. She was very scared, stayed close to us, and wouldn't dare leave the community to play. As we talked among the children, we remembered the doll and wondered if it was what the witch was looking for. So, we went to the abandoned store to find the doll, thinking that if we left it outside the community, the witch would stop bothering us. At first, we couldn't find the doll or even remember where we buried it. When we finally found it, the doll was destroyed with a broken leg and hanging arms. Its face was no longer beautiful. Instead, it bore an expression of pain, terrifying us all. We put it in a black bag. On the way, we ran into one of the kids' dads, who immediately forced us to empty the bag. The doll fell with its arms open. The man immediately asked where we got it. He refused to touch the doll and told us to get rid of it, threatening to tell everyone's parents. So, we quickly took it and left it on the outskirts of the community, near where the tent was. That night, it seemed like the witch visited the community. We all heard strange noises. The animals behaved strangely, and everyone agreed that they heard footsteps on the rooftops. The next morning, we went to where we left the doll, but it was gone. We felt relieved, thinking that the witch would finally stop haunting us. I never saw anything again, but many kids claimed to see the same woman outside their windows, sometimes transforming into a horrifying bird similar to the one I saw that night, confirming it was the witch. Thank you for joining us, spine-tingling story. We hope you found it both thrilling and thought-provoking. If you enjoyed this video, please consider participating in our channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing it with your friends. Your support goes a long way in helping us create more engaging content for you. Goodbye, and may you always tread carefully in the world of the unknown.